So why I am popular? You tell me. No, call me professor. So you have chosen death. Okay.
Hello everyone, and I'm glad to introduce our first episode of the series of the new IEEE Student Branch podcast. And our first guest, Professor Muhammad Tahir Akhtar, who is a professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering Department, who is well known as a bombarding lecturer, signals and systems. Welcome.
Okay, thank you very much for your kind introduction, and I'm very glad to be the first guest of this podcast series. So thank you very much for having me.
And we're glad to have you today. So Professor, let's start from ice melting. And I will show you some memes about you. And
okay.
I think you know them.
Okay.
And you know them very
right.
well. So let's introduce them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
I hope it's interesting.
Yeah, I believe they are.
Okay.
So
oh my God.
What do you see here?
All right.
And please, Professor, tell me, after you see them, tell me, is it funny and is it truthful?
So actually I don't catch when you have signal, and let me repeat for the audience. So there are two messages. When you have signals and systems course with Akhtar, I never had a double-digit score on any of my quizzes. All right, I really doubt it's true. Okay, if you study, you can get triple-digit score also.
Okay,
all
good.
Right?
So is it truthful? How truthful is it?
Huh?
How truthful?
Okay, 50-50. All right. maybe some students they deserve this thing. Okay.
Okay. So the next one is coming.
All right. So is it on Telegram or somewhere? Can I have the picture?
Everywhere.
Okay, Professor Akhtar, when we have tried to appeal on signal and system exam, so you have chosen death. Oh my God, this is too strict. All right.
Tell me please, is it truthful?
No, I listen to the appeals and sometimes I bluntly say no as well. It depends upon the case, situation. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah.
we'll see that. And the next year I will see myself.
All right.
Because I'm electrical student.
Okay. Wish you
year.
all the best. Okay.
And I hope so.
All right.
So next one is in Russian. I'll translate you.
Okay.
So here we have battle cry. Show some respect, and it will make the level of the game difficult to 50%.
Okay.
And tell me please, is it relatable to you?
Yeah. So actually, I would agree to this up to some extent. Because let me take a couple of minutes to answer this. This is very important. Recently, actually, there have been this sort of conception, which I personally don't agree, that the students are like our clients. Okay, there is a perception going on. But as a teacher, I consider them only as my students. Okay. And so they are not my client, rather they are human beings which I have to train and educate. So I don't consider even myself as an instructor. When some people call me instructor, no, call me professor. I'm here to educate, not instruct. So sometimes, yeah, I am pushing my students to go beyond their limits so that they can be ready to face the future challenges in their life. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And it may be connected to the fact that in the West society, the teacher have to explain everything and just give to the student. Then the student have to just take it and just absorb it. But in the East, there is one saying that teacher just gives, and the student, the one responsible for everything, he takes, the student takes from the professor, and like from the teacher, from the shifu in Chinese sayings. Yeah, so I think you are mostly about Eastern side.
Oh yes. Because I lived. I'm from Pakistan. Okay, I did my undergraduate master's degree from Pakistan. Then I did my PhD from Japan.
Okay.
So I lived there for 10 years. Okay, so my most of the life is in this region, and I really respect our culture, our traditions. Okay, And I don't believe that Western culture is the only culture in the world.
Yeah,
okay?
of course. Right. That's totally true.
Yes, yes, yes.
So let's move to the next meme.
Okay, so still we are doing memes. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
All right, okay.
This one?
Oh, so I'm famous, right? Okay.
You are a lot famous.
Okay. So it's a very detailed one. So there is a fight between.
Do you know the movie? It's called Transformers.
Yes, I know Transformers. Yeah. There is a fight between Fourier and Laplace. And what I'm doing here? I'm one of the characters. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks funny to me. Yeah, it's nice.
Yes. Okay. How truthful is it? Do you think about the battle between Fourier and Laplace?
Yes, actually, it is true up to some extent. Okay, so they were legends. Okay, and they were basically mathematicians, and now we are using their work in our whole of our electrical engineering. Our electrical engineering curriculum is not complete without Fourier and Laplace. Okay, so they are really giants, and they had very good scholarly debate with each other. Yeah. But they were not fighting; they were just talking at an intellectual level.
Yeah, I think it's intellectual battle.
Yes, it's an intellectual battle. Yes.
So, I hope some students believe this is the last meme is the most famous and the most funny one.
Okay.
Yeah, let's now. So let's now. Is it true or not?
Okay. What's going on? Okay. All right. Okay. So, do you want me to show it to the camera?
No, we'll have it on the camera.
All right. Okay. After convolution. All right. Before, no, what can I say? Okay. So yeah, I have changed. Yeah, a little bit.
So you liked it?
Yeah. This is nice.
Okay, good. Very good. Okay, tell me please about the last one because you liked that the most, I believe. Is it close to the truth?
No, actually it is only a different period, okay? So that picture, I remember it was taken on the left side, which you call before convolution, when I joined the University of Electrocommunication in Tokyo, Japan as an assistant professor, okay? Yeah. And I think this scary picture after convolution, where I look very scary, it was when I joined NU, I think. They needed some picture on my card or something like that. I don't know. So actually, I'm not a good on photo taking. Okay. So when you ask, let's take a photo, I become like a robot. Okay. So it's true. It's true. I like it. Okay.
And now we will move to the next question of mine. And tell me, please, we just saw so many memes about you, and I believe there are more.
Okay.
And tell me, why are you so popular among the students of the SETs and even beyond SETs?
Oh, okay. Actually, you should ask these questions to the students, but anyway, how should I answer this question? So why I'm popular? You tell me. You are also one of students, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Can I give this question back to you?
I think yeah, we can do something like that. And but then we will just share your own.
Yeah, actually, you are right. Once I was sitting in a restaurant, and a couple of students were sitting besides me. And they asked me, I said, I'm Akhtar, I work at, we are students in civil engineering, and we know you. So, yeah, you are right, impression is correct. So, so maybe reason could be I am the only strict teacher in the whole school. I don't believe that. But anyway.
Okay, and let me tell you one thing that when I was studying as a foundation in the CPS department, I heard about you.
Oh, really?
You were only professor that I heard, and every student in the NU know
so
about
tell me why. What did you hear?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
Well, I will experience it in the next year.
Okay, cool.
So, let's move to the questions that, do you like the fame that you've got?
I don't believe I have a fame. I'm just doing my job as a teacher, okay? So, yeah, I actually, how should I say? I like my students, okay. I like to work with students, all right. But I have some strict rules to follow, all right. I really want to discipline them. As I told you, they are my
Yeah.
students, not my clients, all right. So yeah, I love working with students, okay. So if it has given me some fame, which I don't believe, I'm happy about that actually.
Okay,
All
good.
right. Yeah.
So you're on the side of the students.
Oh, of course, all the time, all the time. Yes.
So about the students, let's move to the point where you wasn't a professor yet, and tell me please, what kind of a child were you?
Oh, okay, all right. So you mean my background, okay? So basically,
Not a really child, because what kind of child you were?
actually, then it will be difficult for you to correlate because you guys in a different era, okay? I'm talking about the time when there was no internet,
Yeah, of course.
and I belong to a poor family. I really feel proud of my parents. I mean, they were just school teachers, but they knew the importance of education, so they worked very hard. I come from a village, so my childhood was very simple. My mother was, how to say, God bless her soul, she already passed away. She used to gather few kids to teach them as like a private tutorship, okay, and to earn some living, all right. And I used to sit there also. So my childhood was just that I go to school, come back, and just even study more. All right. So yeah, my childhood was very simple. This is what I would like to say.
And I would say that it's constant studying, yeah, because you're studying actively in the school and then passively at home.
Yes, 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 yes.
So.
And another thing I can say that my mother was very strict. So maybe if I'm strict, it's in my genes, okay?
Yeah.
So
of course.
I was not such a naughty kid who is always walking around, running around, and where my mother says sit here, I will sit there.
I think you might be some naughty kid, but your mother was strict.
Yes, yes, okay. Yes. I really admire. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you're like quite thankful to her.
Oh, of course, of course, of
because
course. When I was growing, I did not realize that, to be honest, because when we are in that age group, in our early age, we are very young, we are energetic in some sense, and we take everything as if we deserve it, right? Okay, we take it for granted. That,
of course.
But later, when I was growing in my professional career, and then I realized that what actually they have done for me. So I really then acknowledged it. I repeatedly said thank you to my mom. Yeah, yeah. I really admire her. Yeah.
So the last question from the childhood. Tell me, please share with us what's the most vivid memory from your childhood.
Vivid memory. Okay. Can you explain it a little bit?
Like the brightest one, for example, when you were sitting and studying, not studying, I think, when your mother just cooked your loved dish, maybe you just got to the, like, traveling with your family,
okay, all right,
visiting grandparents, maybe.
Yeah, so one of the memory which I remember, and it is about how the society have changed, particularly I'm talking about my society, okay, not generalizing, that when we were living in a small town, and we had summer vacation of 3 months, and every summer vacation we used to visit my aunt who was living in another village, and it was quite a long distance. We need to take some buses, and some summer my mother says, I'm not going, you go alone. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And I was maybe in that village, I studied till grade 4 only.
Oh.
So you can imagine what could be my age, between 7 to 8 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So I said, okay, so can you give me the money for bus fare? No, no, kids have, there is no bus fare for kids. You just go if you want to go. Okay. So this I still remember that I went to the bus station, I hopped on the bus and conductor asked me, who are you with? I said, no. I mean, there was no concept for kids to, and it gave me a nice experience. So I traveled alone, I went to my aunt's, I reached there and I could return back safely. And it is little bit unimaginable for the kids now in my own country, okay? Yeah, so, so
quite experience.
Yeah, it was quite nice experience, yeah.
And also, my parents love to say that with the money you can do everything. Let's try without money. And they don't like to give me. And I believe that's the thing why I got there.
Yes, yes. But people used to take care of each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was very nice.
The kindness that's warm everyone.
Yes, yes.
What event divided your life into after and before?
So actually, but that is my personal, how I personally evolved, okay. I come from a very conservative Muslim family, okay. So before I left my country, which was back in 2001, when I left for Japan for my PhD studies, okay. And then so I think that is a point of transition in me as a person, where I first experienced a different culture, and then during my studies there as a PhD student, as a postdoctoral fellow, I had this opportunity to travel to many countries for making research presentations. It was a professional trip, but I got this opportunity to experience various cultures, and then I mean, so basically I would say that it really transformed me from somewhat conservative person to a really broad-minded and liberal type of person. So now I can respect any culture, I respect any religion, I respect whatever you believe, and I think it has given this opportunity of going abroad for my higher studies. That was a transition. So before that I was totally different person, and I feel now I'm totally a different person. Yeah. So now I hope, did I answer your question?
Yeah, of course,
okay.
Totally.
All right. Yes.
Yeah, I traveled myself also to the China when the coronavirus hit, and there one event took place when I called my parents, and it was during pandemic, and the world is the first pandemic that will announce, and there I called them and asked. We just talked a bit, and there I decided that I will stay in China, and that decision was the most decisive that I took for myself.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it also was abroad from my home country.
Okay.
I think it's just something similar.
Similar experience. Yes.
And please share with us that not every person decides to go to PhD because it's hard and it sometimes might be challenging. And what motivated you to continue studying?
It's a very good question, because how I went through all this journey. When I was doing my undergraduate, like you, so as I told you, I come from a family where my mother was a school teacher. My father is still a school teacher, okay? He is still going to some school. So when I was doing my undergraduate in electrical engineering, I used to prepare very handwritten notes, okay? And then my classmates would, instead of studying from the books, they used to study from my notes, and I used to explain to them.
Oh,
okay, so then at that time I realized that if I understand something, I can explain it to others. Okay. So this was first, you can say that my self-assessment. This is what I tell my students also, that try to evaluate yourself what you are good at and what you enjoy doing, and then go for it. Okay. So this was the first point. And then when so as I said, I don't come from a well-off family. So my parents were expecting that after my undergraduate, I will go to some company, I will join there as a fresh engineer, do some job, but I wanted to study further.
Okay.
So I could earn some scholarship for one of the best institute in Pakistan, okay, and they kind of agreed to it. So I entered their master's program with some stipend, and there was no tuition fee. And during that master's program, there was opportunity that I could join the same institute after graduation as a faculty member. All right. So I was very happy when I was selected for that opportunity. Okay. Yeah. So basically, I became a teacher of those students who were 1 year younger than me, okay, right after my master's graduation. But during that time, I realized that all the faculty here, they are well educated from famous institute, top institutes. Somebody has done PhD from Purdue, somebody is from Harvard, good Cambridge, good institutes from the world. So then I realized that only master's degree is not enough. Okay. So then I upgraded my goal and I decided to go for a PhD degree, because so I have never worked with a company. So right from my bachelor degree, I did my master's degree. From master's degree, I joined the institute as a faculty in 1999.
99. Okay.
All right. And couple of years when I was working there as a junior faculty, I realized that if I don't do my PhD, I will stay junior faculty for the rest of my life. So this is very important for my professional growth. So the message which I want to give here, and after my PhD, I was supposed to return to my home country, but then I thought I cannot grow as a researcher if I immediately go to a country where research facilities are not up to the mark. And then I decided to stay in Japan for some more time, and now it's more than 20 years that I'm living abroad. Okay. So the message from all this story which I want to give you guys is to all my students, that do some self-evaluation. It's a good idea to have long-term goals, that how do you see in next 10 years, 20 years. Some philosophers will tell you this thing, but I would like to say that why not have some short-term goals, that what do you want to do in the next couple of years, and then keep on upgrading your goals as well. So there is, be flexible, there is should be some flexibility instead of rigidity, okay, that you wanted to achieve something, it is not happening, why not change the direction, go for something else, okay. So I think having some short-term goals and trying to achieve them, it's a nice way to move forward in our lives.
So you're saying that as an undergraduate student, we have to be aware of ourselves.
Yes.
And things.
Yes.
And I think it's quite important, because after you graduate, you will have to decide where to go, and it will change your life, because you will get some experience, and then everything will be just accumulated, and you will just straight to the top.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And about Japan, people have stereotypes regarding Japan and the racism in Japan. Have you experienced it while you're studying there? Racism?
Oh no, never. Oh, okay. I really respect the society. I really love the Japanese culture. I mean, though that stereotype comes from, because Japan is a very advanced country and they are very busy people. And sometimes if you ask them, and Japanese culture, they are really, how should I say, they are really rooted in their culture, okay. So sometimes, and sometimes they might know good English, but they don't speak good English, okay. So there is a communication gap and communication barrier also. But once you live there and you understand them, they are the most polite, most kind, and most warm-hearted people which I have ever experienced in my life of having some interaction. Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That point we will have to just discuss later, because the most, as we're taught in the school, the most welcomed people are just debatable Kazakhs.
Okay, all right. No, I'm just trying to say that sometimes stereotype gives us totally a different picture. So that's why I said once you start living there and you get to know, initially it will be difficult to make friends with them, okay?
Of course.
They have very tight culture, very close boundaries, but once you get to know them, once they become friends with you, oh, it's amazing experience. I after living for about 10 years there, I say that Japan is a different planet on Earth.
Oh, to that extent.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell me then, what do you miss from Japan or Pakistan?
Okay. Actually, if I'm bluntly honest, I should say that I don't miss anything.
Oh.
Okay. I'm kind of a guy who likes to live in the moment. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, or you can say cold-hearted in some sense. Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed living it there, but it's yeah. So how do you phrase this term? You miss? Okay. No, I never missed anything actually.
Like maybe some point of the society that they're closed or they're opened, or maybe some friends do you miss, or maybe as like in the infrastructure. Maybe you miss infrastructure from there, from Japan.
Okay. Not now, because I told you now I'm living here in Kazakhstan for about 5 years. I think more than 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years, let's say. So I just enjoy my life here. I feel very comfortable. I like the Kazakh culture. I like my life here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So when I was living in Japan, I really enjoyed my life there. I was sort of in love with the way Japanese people celebrate their cultural activities, some of the famous festivals, Tanabata in Sendai and those other celebrations. I really enjoyed that, okay. And during that time, when I used to go outside for visiting some other country for some conference, at that time I really appreciated the Japanese organization, you know.
Okay.
All right. Okay, at that time, and when I went back, I really, I mean, felt amazing that how much organized these are. Yeah, the Japanese system is very much organized. Yeah. So you can say that, but I mean, it has both faces. You know, sometimes too much organization is boring and annoying, right? Okay.
Yeah, of course, it might become at some point.
Even for Japanese themselves sometimes. Yeah. But I have taken so many good things with me from Japanese culture. I always appreciate them. So I don't miss them. Rather, I try to apply them in my life.
Okay. So from the Japan, I think everyone knows about the blossom of the sakura. Tell me, please, one experience from that.
Oh, okay. So when I was student, I was living in Sendai, which is in the north of Japan. Okay. And sakura, this cherry blossom, hanami, it's like festival, okay?
Okay.
And we used to have our labs party. In some lab party means that students will cook and we will go to some park and we will see the flowers and we will just talk informal. Professor is sitting there, associate professor is all students. And it was very nice to celebrate cherry blossom in this way. It felt very nice, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have very nice memories. Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay. So let me go back to the this question, related question, missing them. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So you know, in English we use word nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
So whenever we say I miss something, there is some part which is more related towards the sadness, right? I miss something, or there is some, I'm having nostalgia. Actually, in Japanese language, the word is natsukashi. Okay.
Okay.
And Natsukashi meaning is it's nostalgia also, and it has a meaning recalling memories with some happiness. Okay, recalling some happy memories. So this is what I'm doing with you now. Okay, so I'm feeling Natsukashi. Okay, okay. So I'm not sad, but I'm recalling those memories. So I'm Natsukashi now. Okay.
Good.
Right.
So I have a new word to my vocabulary.
Okay, okay.
Natsukashi.
Okay.
Is it correct?
Yes, Natsukashi.
Okay.
Yes.
And now we'll move to the current year life.
Okay.
Do you just notice similarities between Pakistan and Kazakhstan, and what are they?
Okay, so this is very nice question. Let me give you one story. When I was in Japan, and maybe you know, there is a day celebrated in the whole world, I think 28th of February, as an International Mother Language Day. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So I had this opportunity to give a speech related to my mother language and culture on that day to the whole university. Okay.
Okay.
And at that time, it was a deliberate effort that I was trying to explain what is our culture, how it is related to, does it have some similarities or differences, how does it compare with Japanese culture, all right?
Okay.
So your question is too spontaneous, but now when I think, really, as far as this Pakistan and Kazakh culture is, so as I said already, that I feel very comfortable. I'm enjoying my life here. I think I find it, so maybe this thing is coming from that Central Asian type thing. Okay, so there are some similarities coming from our regional background also, and maybe it has something to do, maybe, I'm not sure, related to some religious background also. Maybe you know that in Pakistan 97% are Muslims. Okay.
Okay.
So we have a good number of other religions also, but if we think because it's a huge population, more than 230 million people. So if we talk in terms of percentage, 97% people are Muslim. And sometimes I find similar values here also, that people are trying to greet each other, people are very hospitable. Okay.
Okay.
So rahmat, those type of words, people try to thank each other. Okay. And hospitality is, I mean, our trademark. Okay. And I felt the same here also.
Okay.
Okay. I mean,
Okay.
if you meet any stranger, if you are a tourist, he will never let you pay. Okay. Even
Yeah.
so, if you watch some vloggers who are traveling to Pakistan, they find this thing. So sometimes even we start fighting who will pay. Oh no, I want to pay, I want to pay. So I feel this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have this experience with some of my friends here, and yeah, I can say, yeah, Kazakh people are very hospitable. So this is amazing,
I hope
amazing.
so.
And in my personal experience, I always feel politeness, welcoming. Okay, I mean, you know, I'm sharing my general impression with you. There are exceptions there, but I ignore them. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
So mostly the
Yes.
about hospitality.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As people say, smile to the world, and the whole world will smile to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's true. It's true.
Let's move to the point with that to our university.
Okay. All right.
Who helped you the most to adapt to our university?
I cannot take any names here, okay, because here I'm sitting professionally. There is nothing personal, all right?
Of course.
Okay, so professionally speaking, I think I should say that I should respect, first of all, the government of Kazakhstan. Okay, this project is very important. Nazarbayev University, we are creating a great professional culture here. Okay, so I think it's all professional, welcoming thing. And when I joined back in 2017, I think so. It's more than 5 years. All right.
More.
So yeah. So ironically, maybe because we are shares the thing, to your previous question, we have some similar cultural values we believe in. So coming here was not a cultural shock for me.
Okay.
All right. For example, when I first went to Japan, it was totally a cultural shock. It took me 6-7 months to adapt to a new culture. Okay. All right. So, but here I feel so comfortable, and professionally speaking, we have a good team of colleagues, our staff, our colleagues working in the offices. Everybody is welcoming, and we feel comfortable. So I think I adjusted and settled down very quickly.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and let me say, excuse me, okay, and also right from my first class, I was amazed with the quality of students we have having. Okay, so I always say proudly that we are having one of the best students in the country. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm very happy, very satisfied, and I have settled down very quickly. Yeah.
About the students, is there a student who reminds you about your youngest self?
Okay. So actually, I don't do that type of comparison. Rather, actually, there are many students who I wish I was of that caliber.
Okay.
Okay. They are amazing. And I always even tell to my undergraduate students that, okay, this thing I do not understand properly. You are very brilliant. You teach me how it is done.
Oh, to that
So,
point.
yes. Oh, it's amazing. So, I consider myself as a very humble, average student who was just working hard. But I have seen some amazing students in my life who I really feel proud as a teacher. Okay.
Okay.
Let me say a few words here. Okay.
Of course.
As a teacher, I always tell this thing to my students that there are only two people in the world: your parents and your teachers, who will feel proud if you grow beyond what they have achieved. Okay. All right. And I truly believe in that. And there are some amazing students. I can only wish that I was doing the similar thing when I was young. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
so, did you experience it in Kazakhstan or in Japan?
Oh, in Japan also, in Pakistan also.
Okay.
Yeah. But here, generally the number is very high.
Okay.
Okay.
So, students of the Nazarbayev University, you have to be proud of yourself. Okay.
Truly.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. So, and tell me, you mentioned about the good students of the good caliber, and just describe them, or even better, describe the ideal students that you have in your mind.
Okay, ideal student. Okay, so there is nothing ideal, you know. I always tell to my students that you have no competition with anybody else. Your competition is with yourself. Okay. So you have to learn, you have to grow, and you have to work in your own time zone. There is a famous video on YouTube where the guy is talking about that everybody is living there in their own time zone. Okay. So I really believe that. Okay. So, I mean, we all are human beings. Ideal means the things which we can imagine but does not exist. Okay. So I don't believe in idealism. So as a student, I just tell them, okay, work on your own pace, try to do your best. Those normal piece of advice which any teacher would give, okay, to a student. So, and for me, the student is ideal if his or her first priority is his education, her education, okay. That is, for me, the ideal. If you are doing your best for your education, for your studies, because this is the time you have only one thing to do. Do not worry about how much money you will earn in the future, or what will happen, or when you are going to get married. Okay. For me, student is ideal whose focus is towards his or her studies. Yeah. All right. I mean, I don't judge idealism on the basis of caliber, on the basis of publishing, doing some research, on the basis of getting A grade. That doesn't matter. A grade doesn't matter. Okay. All right. All right. The thing which matters in your life, what you have learned and how you have grown as a person and as an engineer. Okay, I come from electrical engineering background, so we are here representing IEEE. Okay, so let me say not in general as an engineer, as an electrical engineer. So that is the focus, and if you are working hard to achieve your goal, you are ideal student.
So let me just,
for example, okay, can I, do we have time? Can I share one of my story? Okay, why this grade is not important? Okay, when I was doing my master's, I happened to have a very brilliant teacher. Let me take his name. I'm very lucky that I had some brilliant teachers in my life. But he was when we used to attend his lectures, he was brilliant in explaining. But when we used to go to exam, we couldn't understand even the question. Okay, or maybe now you would say that many of my students say that thing. Okay, all right. But I remember I studied a course on optimal control engineering. Okay, and I mean, during the lecture everything is fine, concept was explained properly, but when I used to go back, I couldn't solve any problem or something, and I failed the midterm exam. Okay, all right. So I think sharing a failing story is more important than sharing a success story. So I failed the midterm exam, and I was worried. So what did I do? That I went to dorm, I closed the doors, and I took all the books, whatever I could take, and I put the notice on my door, don't disturb. I just go out only to eat and go back. Okay, all right. I studied very hard, and at the end of the day, I think I passed the course with some C grade. Okay.
Okay.
And I know that professor will never give you any grace point. Okay. Even if you are failing with 1 point, he will fail you. Okay. And the end of the day, I was very happy that I passed this course on my own with all my effort. Okay. All right. So if you look at my transcript for masters, there is AB, 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 and there is one C also. But in my life, nobody asked me what is this C grade. Okay. Nobody asked me what was your grade in your first year of electrical engineering. People ask me, tell us what you know, and I'm sitting here as a professor. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So for me, again, let me repeat this thing. Ideal student is whose focus is his or her studies. All right. That's it. At the end of the day, when he or she will graduate, student must be confident that I did my best. Now I am engineer and I am going to enter the practical life. Okay.
Okay. Good.
All right.
Or the researcher life.
Whatever the goal is, I said, work for your goal.
Yeah. Good. Right. So your advice is to be just purposeful and aimful to the goals that they're following.
Yes.
And just close the door and just study a lot.
Yes. So this close the door, why? I mean, this is my personal opinion. Okay. You may or may not agree me. For example, I see in Atrium 1 week before the exam, there is this my opinion I shared even at a higher forum also, that there is a relaxation week something, people are dancing and trying to relax. Oh, come on, go to your room and study. Relax after the exam. This is not the time to relax. This is time to take some pressure, time to work hard, study hard. So anyway, it's my personal opinion.
Maybe it's helpful, but I have never tried myself.
Okay, all right, all right.
Okay. Okay, so I think it's time to move to the next part of our interview, interview podcast. So, as you may notice or may not, we have just showed to the display that students can share their questions with us, and we will try to ask you the questions. And in the end of these questions, you have to choose one of them, and we'll just award the student. That question, I mean.
All right.
Okay. So we'll start. You can just answer shortly or detail it.
Okay.
Suppose you get to stand it on an inhabited island. Which book would you take with yourself, and why is it Signals and System Oppenheim?
No, it will not be Signal and Systems Oppenheim.
Okay.
If I am on some island, I would like to take some fiction, some science fiction. I really like science fiction. Okay. I would like to take some fiction books which will relax me. Okay. No, all right.
You just take opportunity to be on the island and just relax.
Yeah. Okay, I will. Okay, now I'm stuck. Okay, let's relax.
Good point.
Yeah.
Next question. What are your hobbies?
My hobbies, these have been changing all the time. When I was young, I used to read a lot, okay? And I was not good at sports, and most of the time I was studying and reading just fiction. I like to read fiction, some novels, some literature, some history books, science fiction. And then recently my hobbies are I like to watch movies, I like to watch Netflix, okay, and Netflix started during pandemic, all right, and I'm still keeping it, so I watched many TV shows, all right, and how should I say, I like to play billiard, okay, but I have no opportunity to play here. Yeah, so.
Okay, can you just share with us?
And I like to listen to lectures from good scholars over YouTube. Okay. That is also, I think we off the record we talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. So for example, big famous scientists, philosophers, I really like to learn from them. So that is also my leisure time. Yeah.
And can you? I think it will be maybe helpful to the students. Some TV shows that you watch and you just would love to share with others.
Okay. So I think I was recently, which I watched one TV show, Designated Survivor.
Designated Survivor.
Yeah. So I really liked it. Okay. It's about political situation in fake USA, okay?
Okay.
All parliament is gone and there is a new president who is just a survivor. I really enjoyed watching it.
Okay. So you have weekends and you will just show, you have weekends and you will just watch it and check it. So, and let's move to the next question. Now, I would like to ask you a philosophical question.
Okay.
How do you feel about the fact that the life will cease at some point? Do you fear this?
Yes. This is a very good question. Yes. Sometimes, I mean, it's amazing, right? As an engineer, my training is an engineer, right? For me, 2 + 2 is 4.
Okay.
Okay. But life is very complicated story. Okay. In general, 2 + 2 can be 22. It's such a multi-dimensional.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and yes, I mean, maybe I don't have answer to your question, but I have similar feelings. I mean, now I'm 48, soon I'm going to be 49, so I'm approaching 50 mark, okay? And when sometimes I have a flashback, it passed so quickly. So I think this is it has been amazing journey. So life is uncertain, life has to continue, we may or may not be there, okay? So, but the moment which I'm waiting for, I really wish, okay, that I could at least survive for till 2030, okay? Because, why? Because we expect that man will land on Mars.
Oh, okay.
I told you I follow these.
Yeah.
So I follow Elon Musk, I follow
deGrasse Tyson.
Okay. So his lectures and his prediction is by 2030 we will land on Mars. Okay?
Okay.
I really want to witness that. Okay, and I really feel lucky in some sense that this our life. I started back in. I'm from. I was born in '74. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and so my childhood is in '80s and '90s, when the life was totally different as compared with you kids who are living in a different era. Okay.
Of course.
All right. So yeah. So it has been an amazing journey, and I think this is a good idea that people come and go, but life continues. Okay.
Okay.
So I like this system. Okay. Yeah.
So to the next question, regarding to the Japan.
Okay.
Okay. A samurai has no goal, only path. Is it relatable to you? Did you hear about that in Japan?
Yeah, I watched. My experience with samurai is only Tom Cruise movie. Okay, to be honest with you. Okay, so I'm kind of. I think I'm not. I'm more like an introvert. Okay, I try to live in my own life. So, yeah, but I would agree to it actually.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I would agree to it.
So you're samurai at some point.
Yes, maybe.
Good.
Sometimes I'm too selfish. I should say that. I should.
Okay. So next question is, what advice would you give to our next generation, for our generation? And can you take time and answer it? Because I think I will ask it again later. Okay. We'll move to the next question.
Okay.
If you choose one fictional character to be your real life mentor, who would you choose and why?
Okay. Fictional character. Okay. So actually recently I watched many science fiction movies, and it's hard to choose. Sometimes I want to be Superman, sometimes I want to be
No.
I forgot the
I mean, the question is about mentor for the life.
Okay.
Mentor, not to be a fictional character, but to choose the mentor for yourself. Like you got yourself, but you have this opportunity to have a mentor, this teacher or professor who help you.
Okay. So then I told you in my I really wish that I could be teacher of that caliber. I consider them as my ideals. Okay. One of my teacher just is from when I was a 4th grade student. Okay, I still remember his name. All right. We used to, in our culture we call sir, as to show our respect, Sir Abid. Okay, let me say it in my own culture. I still remember his name. It was just a small school in the village, and let me tell you that I couldn't afford to have pencil or some writing material. Okay, so our teachers will take us to some park, ground in the same school, and we used to learn mathematics by using some sticks on the ground. Scratch the ground. Okay. All right. And so the teachers did not stop teaching us, even if we do not have utensils. Okay. So that is the background I come from. Sit under the tree. Use ground as your notebook. Use stick as your pencil, and learn the mathematics. Okay. So I admire. I really. And then when I was a master's student, let me take the name, Sir Tariq Majid, Sir Yusuf. I really would like. I wish that these are type of teachers who are always with me, so that I can always learn from them. I can always seek their guidance. Yes. Okay. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
I got distracted.
I think you answered it to your own way.
Okay.
Because you described it as like some stories that never happened to most of the students, because we have facilities, we have almost everything that we need, and your story just warmed my heart, because I think every student just have to experience some kind of the professor, some kind of teacher who can teach without stoppings.
I try to do that with my students. Okay, there is no excuse. Okay, get up, work hard, gather your energy and do something. That is always my passion for my students.
And maybe from that point you just get to the fact that you have, if you need to study, just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's move to the next question. What was your grade on signals and processing when you were a student?
Say again, please.
To our next question, what was your grade on signals and processing when you were a student?
Okay. So my friend, your question is, there is no answer to your question, okay? In a sense that when I was student, there was no course on signal systems, okay? All right?
Okay.
All right, so yeah, I started my undergraduate degree in 1992.
Okay.
And I graduated in 1997, okay?
Okay.
For 5 years. There were some issues, our university was closed for few, I mean it was a 4-year program like now,
Yeah.
but it was an annual system was totally different. There was no semester system, okay? All right?
You have to be, you did study without stopping, so without vacations?
No, I'm telling you, now you are having every year you have 2 semesters, okay? There was no semester. We had to study for 1 year and exam will be after 1 year.
Oh.
It is called annual system, okay? So I come from a totally different system, all right?
Okay.
All right? And our curriculum was totally different. I don't have my transcripts with me now, but your question particularly related to signal and systems. For example, I studied Fourier analysis as a calculus course in mathematics. I did not study it as a, okay? So Laplace I studied as a part of mathematics 2 or something, okay?
Okay.
So other also there. So there was no course in signal and systems.
Okay.
But when I was, how should I say? When I was doing my master's degree, I got interested in signal processing. Okay. So at that time, my master thesis were related to adaptive signal processing. This is the course I'm teaching first time here to our undergraduate master students. Okay. So and then from that point in time, the new curriculum changed and I started teaching signal and systems, digital signal processing. I did my PhD in signal processing, okay? So when I was student, there was no course. I was lucky. I would have failed the course. if that's what you want to do.
Okay.
Because I must say that this course is very tough for young engineers because it requires some mathematical, analytical skills. It requires some conceptual understanding what you are doing, that math, it is important, and also it requires to develop some numerical skills that you must be able to program. So it's a multi-dimensional course, and that's why I'm pushing my students to work hard.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So.
Okay. So I was lucky not to be evaluated for this course.
Okay, let's move to our next question, and is, have you watched anime, and if you did, what's your favorite one?
Actually, I could not understand, I lived in Japan for 10 years, many of my colleagues, they were, and the anime, not only watching, reading is sort of their culture, okay?
Okay.
But somehow it did not fascinate me up to some extent. I watched Naruto-kun, for example, okay, for a while, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's normal for me.
Okay.
Not so exciting sometimes,
Good. So, because our generation and the generation, our generation and generation older all watched some anime at some point. I believe.
Yeah,
myself
I watched
also.
Some. I told you I only know Naruto-kun. Kun is for Mr. But Naruto-kun. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll know that. So, did you have a class that you hated?
Actually, hate is a very strong word, okay? I don't hate my class even, but sometimes, I told you that I worked as a teacher in Pakistan, I worked as a teacher in Japan, I worked as a teacher in UAE, now I'm working in Kazakhstan, okay? So actually, I have experience of teaching students from various cultural backgrounds. Okay, so over this, I mean, initially when I was young, we have a different energy. Okay, a different way of thinking. But over the passage of time, as a teacher, no, I don't hate my class. Okay, even on average, if the class is poorly performing, at the end of the day, I try to bring this lesson towards me, that what could I have done better, or yeah, so no, I don't think that as any teacher would hate his or her class.
So I think it's not...
Maybe you can rephrase your question. Okay?
Yeah.
Hate is a very strong word for me.
Okay, I think, and I have another question about like improvements. So you mentioned that you just take lessons and try to improve and implement it. And about surveys, every year, after every semester, after the courses, we have surveys, students that need to just complete them. And do you read them?
Oh yes, of course.
Are they helpful?
Oh, of course. Okay, so so this, maybe with this answer, I'm answering your first question, that what do you think, why you are popular? Okay. All right. Maybe it has linked with that question. Now I'm thinking. So, because I am very strict in my class, okay, I really want to have a strict discipline, I want to have a very strict protocol, especially no use of mobile phones, okay? So, right, and listen carefully, all right? When you enter the class, your connection with the whole world should end. Totally professional approach, all right? So, maybe due to these scenarios, and you might have noticed we are sitting very close, but still I speak in a strong tone, okay? So my tone is naturally strong. So I believe that is manufacturing fault. I cannot change it, okay? All right? All right. So this is my self-assessment, that if I teach a class of... but before answering your question, let me tell you one thing about teaching profession in general, okay? So as a teacher, we have to teach, we have to do research as a university professor, and we have to do some other managerial, manage some staff, some curriculum development, attend some meetings, manage some labs, okay? So our role is as a teacher, as a researcher, as a manager. Sometimes we are just doing, but as a human being, we may or may not be excellent at all of them, okay? We may be a good teacher, but may not be a good researcher, or maybe a good manager, but average researcher, excellent teacher, but average researcher, excellent researcher, but average teacher, okay? So as a student, you should understand that a teacher cannot be a whole package. But ideally, we expect that, okay? All right, so I consider myself as an educator who can do some research also. All right, so I really want to excel as an educator. That is my goal.
I see.
And as a byproduct, I am doing my best with my research also, all right? So when I teach a class, due to the protocol, the way I have developed my teaching style, all right? So I believe if I'm, let's say with the percent, so if I teach a class of 100 students, I think more than 60-70% really hate me, okay? I should be honest, okay? But rest of 30-40%, I think they really like me. They really admire this thing, that whatever I'm doing for their learning, for their future, and I really feel very proud, very happy when the student who I taught 5 years ago, 10 years ago, hello professor, I came here to see you, and whatever you taught, it really helped me in my professional life, okay? So, sorry, I got distracted. What was your question?
No, you answered it, because I asked you about the surveys. And
okay, so I read those surveys, and sometimes there is why Professor Akhtar is here? That comment is also there, and there are some, I really enjoyed the course, but my main focus is not these two extreme opinions. Mainly I want to see those comments where they talk about how this course can be improved. Because at the end of the day, I have to teach again in the next semester to the new students, okay?
Yeah.
So that is the feedback which I'm looking for. So there are two extreme feedbacks also, and in between there are many brilliant students who really share their experience, and they tell us that maybe if these labs would have been done in this way, or there could have been some more problem solving session, or suggestions like this. So I really read my feedback, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and now I hope I answered your question why I became popular, okay?
Okay, so, yeah, I hope so.
And I really actually appreciate when students give feedback. I really like that. It's very important. I think it's important not only for university, it's not only that requirement that student, it is important for me as a teacher also, that I can do some self-evaluation at the end of the day.
Okay. So, and now, Professor, and it's time to you to choose one of the questions that we will just award student with a gift.
Okay. So can you please give me a list of questions one more time? I have forgotten.
Okay. The questions that I asked from the students are about island, an inhabited island.
Okay.
So about your first love.
Okay.
About your hobbies.
Okay.
About the fear of death, about a samurai. Okay, then we got one fictional character that you got as, you wish you got as a mentor, and we're moving to the grade on the signals and processings.
Okay.
About anime, and the last one, did you have a class that you hated? Hated.
Okay. So you mean the class which I taught or class which I studied? I think did I answer your question?
You answered to the question that you taught, but did you have class that you learned but you hated?
Okay. So this is interesting question. Yeah. So actually this is another class which I failed.
Okay.
So why I'm telling the fail story instead of success story? Because I want my students to learn that there is no harm in failing a course. Okay? But the point is that you must be able to stand up from that occasion and then rise. Okay? So failing is part of life, all right?
Okay.
All right? So yeah, that was very hard class for me. I really did not like when I was PhD student. Okay? So there was one class, I think I took it, that it was related to some 2D to 3D projectional geometry or something, okay, which I still don't remember what I studied. All right, so yeah, it was very, I did not like going to that class, okay. All right, okay, so we have to choose question. I think this question was too personal, but I enjoyed answering that question, that when was your first love, okay. So I think this gives the message that it's perfectly fine to fall in love, okay.
Yeah, of course.
But do not cross the red line, because there is do not compromise on your grace, okay. I hear some stories as a teacher that there is some harassment. We should respect each other, okay. All right, so do not cross the red line, otherwise I think falling in love is the best feeling in the world, okay.
Of course.
All right, so I like that question. Now I'm analyzing the questions, okay. You asked me to choose the question, right? And I think that is also a good question. What was your grade in signal and system? You are not giving us the grade. Question was good. I answered it or not, but question was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
So if I would have taken signal and systems course, I would have 100%, okay? I'm sure.
Okay, so what do you choose?
So signal and system.
Okay, good.
Let's be professional, okay?
Okay. The student who asks that question will be awarded with a gift.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So, and now, okay, sorry. And now we have to conclude our interview.
Okay.
So at this note, Did you enjoy it?
Oh, very much. I'm very glad, I'm very happy, rather I'm very honored that though I'm famous, I happen to be the first guest on this series of this podcast. So thank you very much for having me. Okay.
And because of we have you, and because of how awesome are you? Because I love it myself, because we sit and relax and talk. So we prepared it.
1 minute. So we are concluding the interview, right?
Yeah, but
so I would like to. Can I say some concluding remarks?
Of course. Then you can say, because I will give you time to get.
Yeah. You asked that we will ask me some question at the end.
About advice.
Okay. So when you ask, then.
And now we prepared some gift for you as a reminder about this event.
Okay. Oh, all right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Let's keep it here. Okay. Thank you very much.
So, and please, Professor, tell us about one advice that you will give to the students to just ace their life.
Okay, so this is what I remembered and I wanted to. So please allow me,
of course,
to give 2 advices. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So first advice is purely related to IEEE. Okay. That please, it is message to all electrical engineering students, okay, who will be listening to this podcast, that please join IEEE, all right? The reason is that at the moment in the world we are living, this institute is one of the top leading institute in the world in our domain. So they have developed standards, they are doing cutting edge. It's not a research institute, okay, but they are organizing the research, okay. So when we are affiliated with this institute, we get the information and we can contribute better, we can develop our social network, and besides that we can create a brand name for our university also, okay. So our goal is to represent our university to the face of the world through IEEE. So my first message to all our students is that please join IEEE.
I think you have to say it on the camera.
Oh, I have to repeat it now?
Just one word.
Okay. So this is the last question. So let me conclude this podcast with a couple of advices instead of one advice. First advice is that please join IEEE. This is one of the leading and best institute in the world. So one thing is our personal gain, that we will be connected with this network of top rated researchers in the world. And the second thing is that we will be giving something back to Nazarbayev University, our institute, by creating a brand name which will be recognized in the world, okay. So it's very important that you become part of IEEE community. This way, not only that you grow, but it helps your institute to grow as well. So that is my piece of advice or my strong request. And I've been asked to conclude this podcast with one advice. So that is the advice which I'm going to give now. That try to recognize your role as an engineer. And when we look at the definition from IEEE, we say serving the humanity, all right? So now serving the humanity, actually there is no limit. Evaluate yourself and do your best. That is the key. And I always quote this example, that how to recognize our role in the society as an engineer in particular. So I always give this example. I really like this example, that one of US president visited NASA and he saw some janitor cleaning the floor. And he asked, "What are you doing?" The reply was, I'm helping man to go to the moon. Okay? So when we are working as an engineer, we are part of the whole community around the globe who is working hard to serve the humanity. Today's research is tomorrow's technology. Now, some engineers, they are working with some company, creating some working in some factory, some Apple workshop, some Mazda, Nissan, some car company. There are some engineers who are bringing new technologies. They are working as a researcher. The point which I want to make is that everybody is important. Whatever you are doing is significant. Do not underestimate yourself, okay? So the role of engineer is to serve the humanity in any capacity. Of course, we want to be famous like Edison. We want to be rich like Apple founder, okay? So that is a very good goal. I'm not saying it is not good goal, but whatever you do in your capacity to serve your local community, to solve problems around you, people are facing so many problems, everything is important. Just imagine yourself as that there is a big ocean of engineers in the world, and you are one drop in that ocean, okay? So that drop is significant. Ocean cannot exist without those drops. All right? Okay. So never underestimate yourself. Do your best and keep this goal in your mind that you are part of a community which is making this world comfortable. All right? So first piece of advice was please become IEEE member. Okay? And the second is recognize your role and do your best to serve your community, and eventually you will be part of this community which is serving globally. Edison invented the light bulb and we are using the light around us, okay? So our role as an engineer, it is beyond any boundaries. It is beyond any country. It is beyond any nationality, all right? So, yeah, with this, I think I can speak even more about that, but I would like to conclude.
Okay.
So once again, thank you very much for having me.
So, I'm glad to be here. And so, students who are watching it right now, become engineer, know that you're important, and join IEEE. Thank you for to be here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we conclude it here.
Thank you.
Yeah.